She's a queen on the move, cause she know where she going and she know where she been. Remember where she's from. Queen on the Move podcast, yeah. Oh, she's moving, y'all.
But doesn't this look like Africa to you? It looks like it does. Like every time I look at that, I think about that. That's crazy.
Did you know that on our maps, Africa is way smaller, and
Really?
all of the African countries are way smaller.
Really?
And
So it
all
makes the United States
are way smaller, so
look
it makes all of the white countries look
way bigger. That's crazy.
Like it's so out of proportion.
I can believe it.
Like they have Mexico the same size as Alaska, for example.
I can believe it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like
That's crazy.
yeah.
But I can believe it. But hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, you can come over a little bit more so we can see you. Because I'm all in the video. If y'all are listening to it on YouTube or, watching it rather on YouTube or listening.
Oh, they're gonna see this whole thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, and that's the only thing, like, I've never been able to get the video. It's like every time I try and get the video to work with the audio, and then it doesn't work, so I only do audio. But yeah,
This is
I'm
funny.
gonna do it on video. Hopefully I'll be able to put this on YouTube and you guys to be able to check it out via YouTube. But I'm here with Miss Ashley LaRae Sampson. I said your name right? Okay. So I got her here. You guys, I met her. If y'all don't know, I recently moved to Arizona probably 5 or 6 months ago. It hasn't been long. So I moved down here and I didn't know anybody. I was just like on Instagram, like typing in stuff, Arizona. And I came across her Instagram page and I've been following her ever since. She's always posting like insightful things. I love things about the mind. I love things about making you think, making you want to go beyond, wherever you are. You don't have to be like completely stable. So just so you understand, like, you know what I'm saying? But she really made me feel at home. And then to find out she's like a brand curator, so she can create brands for you, help you to curate your own brand. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you accolades about herself that I may not know. But I also went to, it was Boss Babe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to a Boss Babe event and she was speaking there and she did so amazing. And it was just like different. Like usually I listen to male speakers. Like if you go to a seminar at your job, it's probably a man. It's probably going to be somebody. But so I've never, just listened to a woman talk about the things that she was talking about and how she made us, elevate our minds a little bit more. Even if you're kind of there, you think, oh, I know everything about, the mind. I know everything about making my mind okay. She can help to open those doors. So today, we're just going to talk about mindfulness. We're going to talk about being aware of yourself, how you can help to transform your mind if you're on a journey and you're trying to change your environment or change your or just manifest. Like you can be trying to manifest a job, manifest anything. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. I want you guys, I don't know what that was. I got to edit that out.
Oh, now we're editing stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, now we get to edit stuff.
I got to edit that out. That has to come out. I want you guys and gals to like just listen and vibe, have an open mind. Don't come in like with any blocks and just welcome my guest. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Thank you. Well, that was a really great introduction already, so I really appreciate that. Yeah. But yes, as you mentioned, I love working with brands, whether it's people or creative organizations, and just helping them to unlock parts of their imagination and parts of the visions of who they are and their passions and what they truly want to be so that they can unlock it and then step into it. And a lot of times it just takes an outside perspective to really help unlock and then shape, your brand or yourself as who you want to be. And my background with this started when I was a stylist. So basically I did image consulting for whether it be musicians or business people or photo shoots or fashion shows. And it was from there that I was able to truly learn and gather my experiences behind how important branding is. I just didn't know it was called branding. That was the thing. Mm-hmm. So I started off working with superstars. So I would tour with musicians. Like I toured with Jay-Z and with Kanye West and Kanye.
I'm just listening to Kanye West. Whatever.
I love
old
Kanye.
School Kanye.
I love all Kanye.
I do too. Kanye just has to Yeah, we're gonna talk about Kanye.
Yeah, we
I
could talk
love
about
Kanye,
Kanye.
though.
I mean, I've had
I'm
really good
always quoting
experiences
him.
with him, and he's really gone to bat for me. I remember just, in the very beginning, there's just different things that happened. He would go to bat for me, and when you have a mental illness, I feel like
Yes.
when you're on that kind of platform and you have a mental illness, the way that we're treating the situation is
Too harsh.
it's too harsh, and it just doesn't give a good example for how we could be treated if it's us in that situation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I think what we're doing is really siloing people out, people who deal with that. And I think that any creative, I'm a mega creative and I'm a great business person. So I love combining both sides of my brain. And for someone like him to get where he is, he had to be able to do the same thing. And any creative knows that we have this kind of passion that could overrule us at any given moment, right?
That's
so it
very
can
true.
fluster over, bubble over. He's probably like a highly sensitive.
I bet he is.
There's a
I
lot
bet.
of things that can contribute to us being overly passionate or having really strong, firm emotions. And I don't feel like we're treating him with the kind of respect
I agree with
that
you.
he deserves, because he has mental illness, and so many other people in the country do too.
I mean,
the world.
I love Kanye. Like, I'm always, and I don't want to interrupt your introduction, but when you said
Kanye, that's right. I forgot what we were doing.
When you said Kanye, I was just like, girl, I was just listening to Everything I'm Not Make Me Everything I Am. I got an episode on self-love about that I'm going to post soon. But it's just like, he's a genius at the end of the day. Like, he's such a creative genius. Like, all of his music, if you really dissect it and listen to it, even, that poopity scoop thing he put out, I was like, I see you, Kanye. Kanye is marketing. He's marketing. Kanye knows exactly what he's doing with this MAGA, stuff. Like, I think people just take their political views and try and impose them on everybody. And it's okay to believe in a certain, political view, but not in a disrespectful way. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, girl, with your introduction. I do not want to talk about Kanye the whole time. Okay, we only got about 20 minutes.
I can, whatever. So I worked with musicians, and I would tour with them, and I would do their wardrobe for them, their singers, their dancers, their band, and then I branched out to athletes and to business people and to photo shoots, like I said. And with that, I was able to really sit back and learn and observe the different things that they were doing, how they would brand themselves, how they would listen,
right?
You know what I mean? How they would observe on their own, how they were able to conduct business as a uber creative. And I feel like that was where everything started. From there, I was able to branch into marketing and then combine this image and style with the marketing side, and that's where the branding side comes in. And then I've had a journey of mindfulness maybe for my entire life, since as early as I can remember. I just didn't know what it was called. With the mega emphasis on it about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And that's where all of my mindfulness comes into play with everything that I do with all of my clients, even if they don't realize that's what it is. It's like, we're just going to unlock a little bit more of your power and see how we can help you get from here to there.
Wow, that's deep, y'all. That is deep. Like, if you understand yourself, if you're in I feel like I'm on a spiritual journey as well. Like, even being here, some people were like, why are you going across the nation? Like, everything you can make happen here in Atlanta. I'm right in the heart of, Black Hollywood almost, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I have to follow my journey. When my mom passed away, my sister I'm not gonna cry, that's why I had to close my eyes.
It's okay if you do, though. You can
but girl,
do whatever
I don't want
you
to
need.
ugly cry or
It's okay, we'll make some memes.
But,
it's no big deal.
Y'all have me all on Instagram,
I'll be the first one too.
Right. Marketing 101. But when she passed, she had made this video for my sister, and she said, before she passed, she said, well, show them. You'll know when to show all of your siblings each thing I said to them. So I'm already like manifesting the West Coast. I had already said, God, I want to be on the West Coast. I came to California for my birthday 2 years ago. It was right the year my mom passed. And goodness, excuse me. And so when I came to California, I was just so at peace. I just love the water, and I know I can get it in Florida, because that's what everybody was saying. Like, you can get that in Florida. You're so close to everything. Why did you leave? And so
every place is different. What calls to you is what's going to call to you. And this is a very it's well known to be a very spiritual state and an extremely spiritual city. So
I believe it.
I feel like if your spirit's calling you here, it's because it's where you're meant to be at this time.
Exactly. I don't have to settle here. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Yeah. But, my mom was like, just go on, Kim, in the video. She was just like, go on, Kim, go. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, it was in the moment. I'm telling my family, like, hey, I'm leaving you guys. I only told them first because I believe that when you tell people stuff, it immediately put out energy. And if they don't want you to leave, they can try and, and some people did. And there was some roadblocks right before I got here. And I was like, God, I don't know why I didn't follow you. I don't know why I didn't follow my intuition in a lot of situations. But now I respect my intuition so much. Like, y'all don't understand.
We know everything we need to know.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we do, but not in like a haughty way. Like, I don't want to disrespect God or, the universe or anything. It's just like, because, when you say you know everything, everyone's like, oh, you think you're, beyond yourself. And I'm not. It's just about understanding your mind. I definitely believe when you understand your mind more, you can understand every person around you. You can understand every situation better. It makes you slow down and be like, okay, I'm about to make a bad decision. I'm about to make a life-changing decision possibly.
Mm-hmm. Or just where will every decision take me?
Exactly.
If I act this way right now, you have to be able to step back and observe yourself and observe the possible timelines of what you're going to be creating.
Right.
So with every single moment, if we can just kind of step back and be like, okay, wait a minute, where is it going to take me?
Right.
No. And then just switch to the next, like, wait, this isn't going to get me where I actually want to go. But that takes a lot of practice.
Right.
It takes a lot of practice. And, I feel like sometimes the way that we come about it is like, just do this and just do this and just do this. But in truth, some people can't even meditate for 1 minute.
Right.
They can't meditate for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes. So instead of just telling people, let's do this, this is easy, I think we need to help them understand that everything takes practice.
Right.
So try this for 1 minute a day, and then try it for 5 minutes a day, and then for 10 minutes a day. And of course, we know that it's going to change their lives.
Exactly.
But in the beginning, people don't know that. So all they know is that it's hard and they can't focus, so it's just not for them. But the truth is, we don't realize how much our minds are controlling us versus us controlling our minds. Right. So if we can help people understand that, if you don't learn how to control your own mind, it's always going to control you. And this is the easiest way and the quickest way to learn how to control your own minds. And we can't step into that space where we can observe ourselves until we can control our own mind. True. So it's basically step by step by step by step. And, we just expect it to be from here to 100 real quick.
Exactly. We do. Like, seriously, we think we're going to wake up and, oh, my God, everything's going to be set because I had an idea. I had a great idea. And then if someone else does it, you're almost like, oh no, I can't do it now. No, Nike doesn't care about Adidas, Kanye
and vice versa.
Shouldn't care about Jay-Z. Like, he has the right to be his own creative, and it's just like, even within your mind and your thoughts, it's like your mind can be so controlling sometimes. Like, that's why I'm always, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always posting like, it's okay. You can do it. Like, you can get through it.
Gotta be gentle with ourselves.
Talk. Yeah. Because even the whole time, even doing this podcast, it's like my mind says, oh, why are you doing this? Oh, well, who's going to listen?
Somebody, anybody, one person. That's all that matters. Did you hit the right one person? Perfect.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. I was like, if you allow those thoughts, and I have of course. In the years, I've allowed those thoughts, fear, doubt, and everything just to stop me. Oh, well, I can't do this. I don't have the right equipment. I'm a Virgo, you guys.
Oh, so, I'm a Capricorn, so these earth signs, we know how it goes. Perfectionist. That's why we're messing with the camera for so long.
Exactly. So y'all ignore the guy that just walked past, okay?
No, it's cool. He's part of the experience.
Yes.
Yeah, let it be.
So, basically, we think everything is supposed to be perfect. That's why if you ever work with Beyonce, which I haven't, but I can imagine, I can imagine she's like, she doesn't put out anything until it's like she wants it. And so a lot of times, that stops you and you think, well, I shouldn't do it because it didn't do it. And that's what I would do. I would be like, no, I'm not going to do it now. I couldn't do it like this, or I couldn't post it like this. So it's too late to post now, or it's too late to do this. And it's never too late, really. Too late. Like, and okay, so let's talk about mindfulness. What is mindfulness for my audience that are, not as aware, of that definition?
Yeah. So I think that mindfulness is very personal for everybody. So instead of giving the definition that would probably be in the dictionary. I'm just going to give a definition that I think will be easy for people to understand, because it's easy for me to understand,
right.
Which is mindfulness is just learning how to take the steps that you need to take to control your own mind, right? Like I said, instead of letting your mind control you.
Right.
So being cognizant, being thoughtful, just taking into consideration the ways that what you're doing, however what you're doing is going to create something to come back. Right? There's going to be consequences, positive or negative, to every action. Let's just think about those things. Let's just think about how we feel. How do we really feel? What do we really want? What's really going on? Just being able to control your mind in that way, instead of letting all of these things control your mind, which then controls your emotions. And once your emotions are controlled, that's when everything that you feel is going to come into your experience, and it's going to come right back at you and hit you really hard. So that's how I look at mindfulness.
Okay. So pretty much, you guys, I want to do an experiment, so I hope she does it with us. So remember when we did our higher selves, a lot of times people are like, what are you talking about, my higher self? I meet people every day, and it's almost like I can feel their energy. I can feel, oh, wow, you're going to be really successful in this if you keep doing it. And, a lot of people inbox me like, Kim, you encourage me in this way. You encourage me in this way. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm so happy I encourage you. Sometimes it can be hard to encourage yourself, but you still have that, I guess, little bit in you to encourage someone else. That's weird. Like, I know some of you, and probably you as well, have done that, been going through something yourself and had to encourage somebody. But I'm always trying to get people to see beyond where they are, because where I am, I've moved and I've elevated. A lot of things that are in my life now are in my life because I called them into my life, whether I knew I was doing it or once I became aware that I was doing it, I started doing it more, and it became what it was. But I want to do this experiment. Is going to allow you to connect with your higher self. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is the part we don't watch. You just have to actually be a part of it. And if you're listening in podcast land, or anywhere, SoundCloud, Spotify, I'm trying to get on a lot of these platforms so you can listen to me everywhere. But just go ahead. If you're in the car, don't do this, okay? Don't do this, okay? Just do it at your home, or if you're at work, just do it a little bit. So I'm going to let Ashley take over.
So are we going to do visualization?
Yes.
Okay, cool. How much time do we have to do that?
So how long do you think it'll take to do?
I can do it quicker.
Yeah.
I can just leave a few things out.
Yeah, we're at 19 minutes really, but not really, because I have to edit some of it out. So
you're going to edit this and that and somehow make it match up?
No.
You are so talented.
I'm going to try. I'm really going to try. Like, seriously, I'm going to try. My friend was telling me about this little software where that's why it's hard for me to do the video and audio together, because I'm going to have to edit them to match. But I'm going to try. Okay.
Yes. Okay, yeah, so let's do this visualization. This is one of my favorite things to do in my life, is to visualize. So not only do I think visualizations are important for when you're going through transitions in life or a hard time in life, but I think always,
I agree.
Consistently being able to visualize what that next level is, what that next step is, what that next emotion is. That's how we unlock our higher selves wisdom, right? Is by stripping down everything that's happening in our little human lifetime, right? In our little human minds, and being able to connect with the bigger picture, right? So I do visualizations all the time. It's on my calendar, like every day, in addition to meditations. And it's just about connecting with how you really feel and who you really are. So let's do that. I'm going to put on the music, some music that people love, if you don't mind. And we'll just start some music too. All right. So hopefully you guys can hear the music too in the video. Okay, good. Okay, good. So we're going to take a little journey through our subconscious today.
Okay.
If you want to get as comfortable as you can get, if you're sitting up, just relax your shoulders, relax your head, your neck, your fingers, your back. If you have a chance to lay down, if that's going to be more comfortable, by all means, lay down. Take a deep breath in with me. And release. And take another deep breath in with me. And release. Just imagine a beautiful, warm, white light just over your head. It sparkles, it shines, makes you feel like this is beauty, this is abundance, this is peace, and this is tranquility. This is success. Imagine that beautiful white light comes down through your head, covering your entire scalp, your hair, your face, and with every body part that it covers, you feel release, you feel relaxed. You feel the peace and the tranquility, and everything that does not fit within your ideal life, every worry is all washed away. Relax your forehead, relax your eyes, relax your cheeks, drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth, relax your jaw. You feel this beautiful light rushing over your neck and your shoulders, and everything relaxes from your arms and your fingers down your torso, your hips, your legs, your knees, all the way down to your toes. You feel completely relaxed. This is heaven. And so imagine now that you're sitting waiting for your future ideal self from 5 years from now. You two are going to have a brief little conversation because it's time for you to get a little bit more wisdom from who you truly are. So as you're sitting, waiting for your future ideal self, your truest, most amazing, most beautiful, most successful, happiest, most loved, loving, and adored self, where are you waiting for your ideal self at? Are you in a coffee shop? Are you in an office? At a house? An airport? Where are you two meeting? And as you're sitting there, your ideal self arrives. How do they arrive? What do they arrive in? Did they walk up? Did they take a car? An Uber? A taxi? A chauffeur? Did they drive? What kind of car did they drive? What color? What make? What model? Can you tell the year? And as your ideal self steps forward, you feel a burst of warmth and love and just pure happiness and peace from within. Your ideal self is sharing this with you from the moment you come in contact. You can feel the vibe, you can feel the aura. It just spreads all around to everything in its experience. How does your ideal self greet you? With a hug? With a handshake? How do they make you feel? And as you sit down to chat with your ideal self, you notice what they're wearing. Look at you. It's perfect. Everything about your ideal self is exactly who you are. This is amazing. This is amazing. So your ideal self has a few minutes for you to ask one question. So you take a deep breath. And as you release, you ask your ideal self, what is the single most important piece of advice they have for you right now to step into the next level? And as your ideal self eagerly and excitedly answers you clearly and confidently. You know this is the truth. You sit back, you relax, and you just listen. What does your ideal self say? Now it's time to wrap it up. Your ideal self has places to be, and so do you. So, you gratefully wish your ideal self goodbye. You'll chat again soon whenever you want to. They'll always be available. And you take a deep breath in. And as you release, you open your eyes. How do you feel?
I already opened my eyes.
You didn't want to open your eyes?
I kind of already have.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm so calm. Like, it makes you relax. It makes you think about your future. So, if you all had the opportunity to do that, let me take this gum out of my mouth. Goodness, sorry. But it really does. It awakens your mind a little bit more because you're thinking, wow, in 5 years, this is who I am. And it makes you even more excited. So you
can be if you decide to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope you all took that. I know my voice got a little bit lower. So I was about to fall asleep.
We're in the zone. We're in the zone.
Girl, I was about to fall asleep on y'all. I'm joking. But no, for real. Wow. So you can practice that in your own way every day. If you all don't, go follow Ashley on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's ashbash_stylephx.
Okay, perfect. So we got a little bit more time. I'm not worried about the time that much. But you guys, that's visualization. So that's visualizing. Yeah. You know, a lot of times I recently posted a Kanye West. You know, I told y'all I listen to Kanye a lot. I recently posted a Kanye. He said, you know, you can still be who you wish you is. It ain't happened yet. And that's what intuition is. Yeah. So I'm always trying to get people to get in contact with that. Like, stop looking at your now. Like, your now could
You've
look
already
so
created
ugly.
that.
Yeah.
You created your now already. That's what people don't understand.
Yes.
Is right now you're creating your future.
Yes.
So if you're so stuck on the now, you know, that you've already created, it's hard to get out of it. It's hard to get past it. But if you can instead live in the now, know that you created this. Yes. Whatever you're in, you were a part of that creation. Yes. And maybe it stems from when you were a child. I mean, there could be a lot to unravel, right? But either way, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just now you have the opportunity, now that you recognize, to create the future in a different way. And that's all that it is notice in the now how you feel, and notice if how you feel is creating positive or negative for you in the future. Because how you feel now, that is going to be how your future is going to end up manifesting.
Exactly. I agree. And so pretty much, I want you guys to take this episode of mindfulness and apply it directly to your lives. Like, mindfulness isn't like this, oh, I have to be on, you know, even if you want to listen to something very relaxing, that try and listen to something that doesn't really have words in it, right? Because unless it's like positive affirmation words, but you don't want to disturb your spirit. A lot of times, like, I don't know, I said it on my last episode, but I went on a rap fast. A lot of y'all know I listen to a lot of rap, girl.
Even
like
Tupac? You took out Tupac?
Yes. I had to like fast all rap. Yes.
Snoop? Wow.
I only listened to like, you know, Anita Baker, like the calm R&B vibe, you know, spiritual vibes and stuff like that, gospel music, because my energy was like pulling more to one way.
Yes.
Like, but in a different way. Like, if you know my life in reference to, you know, some of the things that the guys were saying, I listen to like ratchet rap music. You know, I'm talking about Lucci. I don't know if you know those Southern rappers, Future. You know, like Future. All of that. You know, I'm listening to Migos, like young nudie, like people y'all probably are like, who is this? Let me like look up this person right now.
Atlanta always has different music than the rest of us, but it always comes back around. Like I remember meeting Future a long time ago, and we were recording like a rehearsal studio, and I was like, who is this? And my cousin lives in Georgia, and she was like, Future. I was like, who? She's like, Future, and I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who this is. And then within the next couple of years, it was all over the stations. That's when I lived in LA, so. You guys know what we don't know.
That's how it is. You like know these rappers, you get involved in their life, their story. You're like, oh yeah, like Jeezy. A lot of us love Jeezy. You know, he's from Atlanta and stuff like that. But basically, I went on a rap fast because it's like my energy was being pulled in a negative way. You know, and it's just like, okay, I need to cleanse my energy. Like my masculine, I was being more masculine than feminine. Like, and it was just like, you know, I just didn't want that energy. So I had to like release, you know, and I would listen to Kodak Black every day. Yeah,
just release what you, if something's not making you feel right, just release it. Doesn't mean you can't ever put it back on the table. Maybe you put it back on the table when you're in a better place, right? And then maybe you might even be shifting, like this isn't what I want, but I still want to listen to this instead, and that's okay. But we fight with it. Don't fight with it. Just let it go. And then see what happens. It's okay.
So it's just like you have to like respect where you are. You know, in that time in life, you know, I'm always telling people, don't worry about the 9 to 5. If you're working a 9 to 5, you're meant to work that 9 to 5
and use it as a platform. You know what I mean? Just if that's all you're doing, it's gonna be hard to move forward. But if you can use that 9 to 5 to grow your business connections, grow your network, grow your connections, grow skills and talents that you didn't have before, learn how to negotiate. There's so many things you can learn how to do in a 9 to 5. Learn if you want to manage, you know, your own company, then pay attention to the managers. How are the managers acting? What do you like? What do you not like? Like there's learning in everything, and it's not until we can actually learn from our situations that we can move on to the next level. So that's a learning lesson in itself. Is why are we here? Well, okay, what do I need to learn? Okay, then I can move forward. Because once you learn it, you move to the next grade.
Exactly, I agree. Because it's like, you know, they say knowledge is better than currency. You know, to have knowledge, that doesn't mean you got to go let me get this degree. We're not saying in that, like, you can have knowledge and read and learn about your culture, learn about the world, learn about different things, you know, just have knowledge so you're not, you know, perishing and stagnant. And I've been in a place where it was like constant, like brick walls. Like it was like you were just never moving forward. And if you are in that space right now, you're listening to this podcast, you're watching this on YouTube, know that you can go beyond that. It's just about you pushing yourself. Like no one can do what you can do. Like even if they're already doing it, you know what I'm saying? No one can like be who you are.
No one's going to do it the way you do it. There's plenty of people that come out here and talk about branding or come out here and talk about being a stylist or talk about mindfulness, but that doesn't matter to me because I'm just going to talk about I'm going to talk about my own version of it. And that's going to resonate with people who need to resonate with me. And that's all that matters.
When you say branding and mindfulness, I'm always lifting this up. Sorry, y'all watch on YouTube. Branding and mindfulness, do they go hand in hand? Like how can... just like a quick synopsis. I don't want to, you know, because I'm pretty sure she would charge y'all for, you know, being your coach or telling you things like how to brand. Right. So like a quick synopsis of how like my followers that are listening can brand themselves. I know a lot of people that inbox me and they're asking me, and I'm like, girl, I don't even have like 1,000 followers on my actual podcast. You know, on my personal, it's like maybe 1,200 or something. But it's like people I know or people that I like, or, you know, I'll follow them, and it's still a private page. But I'm like, girl, you know, I'm trying to give you advice, but I'm growing myself. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, what can you tell them, a quick synopsis of how to, if they had a tip from you about branding?
Yeah, there's two things I want to say here. The first thing is that in our culture, we don't have a lot of resources to people who have been very successful in their field because we didn't have the opportunity, not even fully to this day, to be as successful as some of the other cultures, you know, as a culture, like maybe an individual here, but otherwise. So with that being said, a lot of us don't know how to go about doing business. We don't know how to go about mindfulness. We don't know how to go about bridging the two. There's so many things we just don't know how to go about, how to do our taxes, how to save money on this, how to do branding, how to do marketing. We don't have our uncles and aunts and parents and cousins and their friends and family to help us. So with that being said, I think that us more than ever in our culture, we need to take all the steps we can to dig out these resources. So where can I find a branding workshop, right? If it's, let's say it's free, let's say it's $5, let's say it's $10 or $50, go to that. Where can I find a workshop on taxes and accounting for business. Go to that. There's so many free resources, even here in Phoenix. I mean, Cahoots Foundation does a ton of workshops, where Acuity, all of these places do. I do workshops too, you know, and it's like we need to be connecting in those ways, because we are not set. We're not set up for success. Right. So we have to go the extra mile. And that's the most important thing, I think, with how are you going to try to get whatever it is together. Right.
And don't be
find the
afraid
resource
to pay for those resources.
And you're going to have to pay for really good resources, because everybody deserves to get paid for what they're offering. So, but it's hard to know that, because you don't have anybody to teach you about budgeting and to teach you about marketing costs. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, that's why we have to really take the extra step. But the second part of that is, now that you're actually, digging into resources, so let's say you're here now, that visualization that I just did is so powerful. I do it with every single one of my clients, and it's open to it. It depends, because I have some marketing clients that are like, or corporations, and they're not going to be open to it. But, typical clients, like branding clients, I do that with every one of them. And let's say they didn't need anything else for whatever reason. Let's say it's for a workshop or something. From there, you see this visualization, you see who you truly are. Ask yourself the questions that I would be asking you. I'd be asking you, what were you wearing? How did you make yourself feel? What car did you get out of, or how did you get there? What was the setting? These are all things that show you your future, show you what your future can really be if you decide to step into it. So ask yourself those questions and write them down. And then figure out what's the differences between where you are now and who you are now, and that person, that ideal self that you saw in that visualization. There's going to be differences, and it's okay. Maybe there's a lot, maybe there's a little, either way. What are those differences? And so now, how are you going to step in to this? What do I need to alter? Okay, so let's say one thing is what you're wearing now versus what you're wearing in that visualization. So consistently think of this visualization, think of what you are wearing, and start adjusting the things that you buy to fit into that. Take the clothes that you already have and make that as close to that as you can. And then from now on, only buy pieces that fit within that visualization. And do that with every single part of the visualization. With that, you can then go through your social media. What on my social media doesn't make sense with this brand, with this person that I see myself as, my ideal person in 5 years? That could be you next year. It could be you in 6 months.
Right, because it doesn't have to be 5 years.
It doesn't have to be 5 years.
That immediately,
Exactly.
Wow.
Who that is just your ideal self. We just chose 5 years because we like timelines. Time is a concept. We don't need to choose anything. It could be here tomorrow. It could be here today.
Wow.
But since people tend to like time frames, then I give time frames.
Right. We do.
For me, it's all the same. I don't know what day, and I don't know this stuff a lot of times anymore. So for me, I'm just like, okay, but give people time frames, and then I have to put it in my calendar to find those timelines too. But we can do that.
I feel you on that. Okay, so I love that. So that's how you all can just, immediately start to manifest these things that you want. Like you can't, I'm gonna take a Kodak verse. Y'all, I'm sorry, I can't help it. But how you gonna say you want me to change and be the same?
Right.
I can't change and be the same. I can still be the same in reference to who I am, my soul, my core, my energy, what I emit. But my thinking has evolved. That's why sometimes, you are beyond certain friendships or certain relationships, or they make you feel different. What made you cry before, you're not able to cry anymore. It doesn't hurt you anymore.
Nice.
You're able to move on.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can't stay the same and change. You have to be okay to accept a new wardrobe. You
have to allow yourself to release what's no longer matching what you need anyway, so that you have the space for the new. And that's the first step.
Even in
is allowing yourself to release whatever it is within yourself or around you.
Yes. Just her saying that, it just made me feel like, relationships. A lot of times we don't release, people that we've been in relationships with. So we start looking for that same person in another relationship inadvertently. It's like,
when the truth is, we already have all that from within, and that's my biggest learning lesson. By the way, today's Valentine's Day.
It is.
So let's talk about that. I'm wearing my Valentine's Day colors.
Right, and I'm just like, I forgot it was Valentine's Day. That is crazy. Like, I'm trying to get my mind to go back into that relationship mode. Speaking of relationships,
mode.
Like I haven't been in a relationship since my last relationship, right? But that was like a while ago.
That kind of makes sense.
But basically, I just been on hold. Like I haven't wanted to meet a guy. Like or anything. It's just like that last relationship turned me off. So that's why I had to transform, because that's when I became more masculine. I was more, let me protect myself. Let me do this. I'm in control of this. I have to do this because a man is not going to do it for me. That's how I felt. Like I was like, you know, always on the defense. So I was like, Kim, like take a step back and, you know, look at the situation. Yeah, you know, he did me wrong and he mentally, you know, fucked me up at the end of the day. Like it took me a while to transform my thinking to be okay with, letting a man take care of me, letting a man compliment me, letting a man do, you know, certain things for me. Like the guys I've dated, they can tell you, they're like, man, Kim is a tough ass. Like she's gonna be like this, she's gonna be like this, she's, you know, and I had to like calm that energy down. So that's why I forgot it was Valentine's Day.
But then the question also becomes, how do you know that you didn't do something to cause that consequence in the past? You see what I'm saying? Energy is just energy.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
What we put out, we get back. So how do we know that we don't always get it back from the same person or the same experience? But how do we know that maybe even in a different lifetime? Probably in a different lifetime, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Who knows? You guys might have been in a relationship in a past lifetime, and you might have been the one to fuck him over.
Right. Dang.
You guys just might be even now.
I hope
you know, like we can't just
fuck nobody over.
But you have, because we all have. You have in this lifetime and you have in other lifetimes, and that's just, it is what it is. And so that's why it's like we can't hold on to these kind of things so much, because you fucked me over, I fucked somebody else over, they fucked somebody else over, maybe they were the one who fucked me. And it just kind of is like, we think that everything is really happening to us, but we don't know what's happening to other people because of us. We don't know what happened. We don't know what's going on. We only know if they tell us. So
that's very true. I have, you know, that's why I posted a while ago, like, I apologize if I've ever been toxic, you know, to you.
I've apologized to so many people. I've apologized to people that I just dated just a couple times.
Really?
And just been like, you know what, I don't think that was the best me. And we're still cool or whatever, but it's like, even though we're, you know, I don't plan to be with these people or, you know, like that was never the intention for my apology. My apology comes for if there's anything I've done. And if I can think of that I've done something to you, I'm probably going to apologize for it, because I don't intend it. And the thing is, we probably never intend it. Right. So whenever somebody's doing something to us too, in a lot of cases, not in every case, you know, I'm not saying that there's no bad out there, you know, but in a lot of cases, what's causing that in them for them to be doing it to us? Yeah, and I always everything say, is just like, intertwined like that.
Not on a religion level, but yeah, kinda. You know, they say hate the spirit that's controlling them and not them. You know, like when they say, oh, I just don't like them, just hate what the devil is doing in them, because that's the spirit controlling. They're just dealing with something.
Yeah. And if any given day, it could be you or I. Just, you don't know what's going on in anybody's life. So, and it's the same thing, like we can be dating people. We don't know what happened to them when they were 10 or when they were 7. We don't know what they're holding on to, because they might not even know what they were holding on to. So there's a lot of different situations where we feel like we're the victim, but we're actually not. Yes. But going back to you feeling like you needed that stability and you needed to protect yourself. Yes. It's really funny that you say that. I think that a lot of us women have felt like that, obviously. But there's 2 things about that I want to mention. The first thing is that you already have everything from within. And there's probably something that happened sometime in your lifetime, probably when you were a child, that made you feel unstable or made you feel like you weren't protected. It did. Right? So up until that point you were, and you felt like you were. You knew that you were, because you were born safe and you were born protected. Right? So whatever point that is, that particular thing happened to you, and of course multiple things have happened since then, obviously. Right. But if you can go back to that point, the first point that you remember, and this goes for money, like lack of money, it goes for any issue. So if you're having an issue with something where you're finding some kind of lack, whether if you feel lack of protection or lack of money or lack of love, go back to the first feelings of that and clear those memories out. Everything was okay after that. You've always been protected after that. You've always been safe after that. You just didn't necessarily feel like it. But the truth is, you're still here and you're completely fine. Exactly. So everything has actually been fine, even though it might have been difficult. And you don't know why it's difficult. You don't know why you're supposed to go through this difficult thing. But the truth is, there again, is that you're supposed to go through difficult things too. And it helps you grow, just like, you know, gold is refined by fire and diamonds are refined by a lot of pressure. And so we just kind of feel like things are happening to us, but they're not. But the second part of that, so you already have that protection. you're already protected.
Right.
You've been protected. Your higher self has been protecting you. Why are you here? You're basically an avatar, right? You have a higher self that's here to express itself through you. So just have fun and go with the ride and have fun. And when it hurts, but you know it's going to get better. And when it gets better, thank God it got better, because you remember when it hurt. But this morning, I'm a gemstone lover. I have a lot of gemstones, as you see.
Oh my God,
yes.
I didn't even see that.
And then I carry
my little
gemstones
baby
with me.
over here.
I carry
They're so
gemstones
little,
with
though.
me. I have a big one with me in my pocket. I don't carry a purse, so I have all these round things. But this one is because it's Valentine's Day, so this is like a beautiful.
I have the same one, but it's different.
And this one is for communication, since we're on a podcast right now, on a video. But I brought this one for you, and this one is versatile because I made sure it has a little hole in it in case you wanted to add it to something. Like if you wanted to add it to a string.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Or you can just keep it with you. But it's all about stability and protection.
Oh my God.
So it's funny that you mentioned that in love on Valentine's Day, and that's what I was pushed to bring you, because
Oh my God, you guys.
one thing that I learned, and I know it's really small, but it's because you might want to keep it in your pocket. Like I have this big old one in my pocket.
These were in my pocket, y'all. This is crazy. She brings.
So sometimes I like the small ones, because you
Yeah.
can just or you can put it in your bra too. You know what I mean? Like it could fit anywhere.
Yeah.
But
I definitely don't want to lose
the
it.
truth is that a lot of us, I've said the truth is so many times, and it might not even be the truth, it's just my truth.
Right.
My truth is, we'll just say that.
But our truth is truth in itself.
Yeah, my truth is always truth for me. So that is what that is too.
Right.
But the lack of stability and protection that you have felt in your lifetime, specifically in relationships, it's interesting because you can learn to create that on your own. And once you can learn to create that on your own, once you realize I am protected and I am stable and I do have love and I'm surrounded by so many great things, it's hard to see it sometimes, but you got to see it. Once you can get into that space, then you don't need that from anybody else anymore. And once you don't need it from anybody else, you're not the needy one. You're not the one chasing after it, because you no longer need that.
Right.
So it'll come to you in an aligned way. It'll be your match for that situation. It'll be on the same level because you're not chasing after it. You guys can meet together and blend.
I'm laughing, you guys, because everything she's saying is like confirmation. And it's like I laugh a lot or I smile a lot when it's confirmation. I'm just like, Jesus, because everything you're saying is on point. Like, and I hope y'all are taking it in. I feel like I've been here. I've never been in this library, but I'm feeling the deja vu moment. I don't know why. That dude.
Well, because we've already created this moment.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We create the moments before they happen. We just don't always see that we don't see it the same way.
But
I want you
guys to take that in, like, for yourself, like, not just for what you heard her say to me, but like seriously, because everything she said is about what you're creating around yourself. If you're, not feeling good about yourself, everything you feel about yourself, you're admitting. So you're going to start to attract those people. And I was a broken soul. I always say was. I never say I am broken, because I don't want to speak those. And that's why I don't let people speak certain words over me, because I'm aware that I have to be a powerful being in and of myself. And if I accept you saying negative things to me, then what do I think about myself inadvertently? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and what do you tell yourself?
Yeah,
I started talking to myself like I'm my best friend.
Yes.
I'll look in the mirror and I'll say the funniest things to myself, the same kind of stuff I'd say to, and it makes me just as happy as it makes my best friend when I say it to them. So I feel like if we could just start treating ourselves like how we treat our loved ones and our best friends, we start to feel it. You know what I mean? We start to feel it, then others start to feel it, and then they're just happy to be around us.
That's very true, because
just happy to be around us.
Even if you're making someone else happy, if you're like miserable in your life, like I know people that are like, I do this for this person, I do this for this person.
Why?
And it's like they're always like wound up, and I'm like, calm down, like do something for yourself.
Yeah, well, why are they doing it for that person instead of for themselves? Right?
And that's a sign in and of itself. I know a lot of people, I don't know if you read the Love Languages book.
Oh yeah, such a good book.
What you give, what you and so some people say, well, that's my love language. I like to do this, and it's really you want to feel needed. You want to feel like, oh, I need you to.
But you are needed, so you don't have to feel like you don't have to want that anymore. You are needed. If you think about all the people that have ever needed you in your lifetime, like you're a needed being. You're needed at work. You're needed here. You're needed there. You're needed in your family. My dogs need me. My mom needs me. My dad needs me. My family. My friends. I mean, you need me today. You know what I mean? Like I need you today. we're all needed all the time, so we don't have to feel like we're not. There's no lack. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking. The only thing that's creating the lack is our belief that there's a lack. So if we're lacking money, it's because we believe that we're lacking money. Like maybe we know it's going to come, but not today. So then it's not going to come today.
Right.
So every day you say it's not going to come, or you think it's not going to come, it's not going to come. So that we create that lack.
That's very true. That's very true. That's just like, the affirmations. You have to say it. You have to believe it. Okay, I'm going to have this, even if you have $5 in your pocket.
And it takes time.
It does.
It takes time to truly believe it. It's like an onion that you peel back. How many layers are you going to get to till you finally get to the middle?
Right.
It's just like that. It takes time, and we have to do the work. We have to take the time to do the work, or we don't.
Yeah.
We either ascend or we don't. We either go up or we don't. We either stay the same or we go down, or eventually whatever we're standing on, nothing lasts forever. So we either are going to have to go up or we're going to fall down. Either one.
Right. I agree. But you guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's almost time for me to dip because I have to go to work.
I should probably do something.
But no, I've enjoyed our conversation. I have to have her back on and talk to you guys about
Please, let's talk about this more. I'll be here whenever you want. We can talk about this all day.
I'm always looking at your Instagram, y'all. I'm following her. I'm like screenshot, repost. Like, oh, where did she get this from?
I probably made it up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. Like, let me look at this stuff. Because she's always posting stuff that's like connecting, and when you're evolving, some people can't understand you, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to like be understood.
The people who need to hear and understand you always do. We don't, and if they're not, then they're not. Just let it release everything. Let it all go. It's not that nothing is that big of a deal. Honestly,
I agree
it's
completely.
not.
But it's just like, take this. If you're doing branding, if you're trying to rebrand your mind, retransform your mind. I'm always saying, I know a Bible verse I'm gonna quote. It says, don't be transformed or don't conform to the world, be transformed and renewed in your mind. So to renew something is to make it new, to refresh it, to put
it's like rebirth on it. Whenever you want. Every day can be a rebirth if you want it to be.
Just make your mind beyond where you are. Like, I can't say that enough. I'm always like trying to encourage people. I'm always saying this, like when she said she's looking in the mirror, I'm looking in the mirror like every day talking to myself on some Issa Rae stuff for real. Because
I saw that I relate. I was like, oh, that's me.
Yes, that's why I gotta support her and everything, because I'm like, I follow her on YouTube when she was awkward black girl. And I'm like, girl, this is me sometimes. And then she talking in the mirror. I'm like, girl, I do that. I do this. And we all do that as black women, or probably as women. Yeah, and we don't admit to it. We don't admit to like these things that we do, or it's taboo. Don't talk to yourself. No, talk to yourself. Encourage yourself. Don't say negative things to yourself, of course. But, that can be hard. That happens, to
say to yourself what you'd say to your best friends.
Right.
You don't talk negative to them. You just don't. And if you do, you're not a good friend. So then there's that too.
And if you are, you're giving them a good critique or something, or it's because you love them or something like that.
Which we have to do with ourselves too.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Ashley, so much for coming on. Y'all follow her on Instagram. Get in her DM. Talk about branding. If you want to be branded, or, just retransform your mind, you can definitely talk to her about these type of things. I know a lot of people that are in my inbox. I love chatting with you girls, but reach out to other people that are available to you, and that's something I'm doing different, because I try, and I have a video I'm working on showing you exactly that. Like, I try and do everything alone. Like, I can do this by myself. I can do this by myself.
It's not as fun either, though. It's more fun with people sometimes.
It is, but you have to have people to help you through things. You don't know everything by yourself. You won't know everything. You need to like connect with people.
Yeah, that's the beauty of collaboration and sharing too. Like what you said with Issa, like she shares that true part of herself and we all relate to it. So we need to be sharing our true parts of ourselves too, because even though something may be taboo or may not make sense, somebody's going to relate to it. A lot of people honestly are going to relate to it, and that's all that matters, is how can we connect and relate to each other.
I agree. So y'all tune in. If you're listening, follow me on Instagram, Queens on the Move podcast. Follow Miss Ashley,
_style_PHX.
Because people forget. We gotta repeat things for y'all millennials. It's 21st century.
Put it on the
we
bottom
are like
video.
We're laid back and relaxed. But thank you so much for coming on. I'm definitely gonna have you on again. We're gonna talk about some other things. This is not trying to close this. Okay.
I want to stay open. This is the day of openness.
Happy Valentine's Day again, you guys. Send somebody some roses, a flower, anything. It doesn't have to be
some birds of paradise.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anything. Like, say some words of encouragement to somebody today. Love on somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, peace and love, y'all.
Queen on the Move podcast, yeah. Oh, she's moving, y'all.